pretty sure is broken. Alright, as I'm sure you have guessed by now, the fun never ends with these motorcycles. Dyna's back on the lift. This time it's not something being upgraded in a sense. It's something actually that I'm pretty sure is broken. Little story time. Started the bike up to ride to work the other day. Down where the compensator is and the crank is at, it made a really strange noise, almost like a rhythmic clunking. I rode down the road like a couple hundred feet and it got progressively worse. Didn't really notice it at first and I was like, well, that doesn't sound right at all. Turned the bike around, parked it in the garage, didn't ride to work that day. Did some research and I think the compensator is going out or has gone out. I don't know. So we're gonna check a couple things out real quick. My solution to this problem, if that is indeed the problem, is this 25 tooth solid compensator from a company called Belt Drives Limited. I was a little iffy about this part because it didn't come with any instructions, didn't come with any information, doesn't say exactly that it's a compensator eliminator, it just says compensator sprocket, so I actually called them and they did verify that that is a replacement for the stock compensator. Now I've heard good and bad about solid compensators or compensator eliminators. I've heard both good and bad things about them and I think that's the way to go for me on this bike. And then again, I don't 100% know that's the issue, but I'm fairly certain it is. This thing's not making enough power for the crank to be going out, and the compensator should be a fairly straightforward fix. I've taken all this out before, I know how to do it. So, with that being said, primary's already been drained. All I gotta do is take off the peg mount, shifter arm, all these bolts around the primary, the 4 bolts that hold the shift arm in, pop this off, and then get eyes on what's actually going on inside here. Hopefully it's something as simple as the compensator again. We shall see. So I'm going to go ahead and get the peg mount and the shifter arm popped off and then the primary taken out, and then we'll be able to get a better look on the inside here. Those that don't know or are new to the channel here, this is a thing that I like to do and a lot of other people like to do. Draw a diagram of what you're taking apart with Sharpie or whatever on a cardboard box, and then just put your bolts in the order they came out, and then put it somewhere. You can't forget about it or your kids can't get to it, and you know exactly where everything goes. Super easy trick, it makes everything a lot better. Okay, first look at everything here. Looks a little iffy. There's a lot of this like carbon buildup, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be from the brand new clutch I just installed. That should be just breaking in. I'm not 100% sure if this is supposed to spin on its. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this compensator off, loosen up the tensioner. I'm going to try to do this without taking the whole clutch assembly off, but I don't know how that's going to work, so we shall see. Okay, so as you probably just saw, this compensator nut came out way too easy. This is supposed to be torqued to 150 to 165 foot-pounds. So that's probably the issue I was having. This just came loose. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is retorque this to 150 to 165, probably somewhere around 160. I guess put everything back together, put the tension back on the primary chain, and that should get rid of the noise that I was experiencing, because basically the spring inside the compensator, when this isn't torqued down, is loose, so it's going to rattle basically, and the three gears that are on the compensator and the sprocket are not going to mesh very well. So that's probably the issue I was having. So let me go ahead and get this torqued down to 160 foot-pounds and start getting this thing put back together. Oh, and you will need a sprocket block for this as well. Otherwise, you're just going to be spinning. Okay, so now there's very little slop in the actual compensator. I think, luckily, we found our issue here without anything too crazy happening. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this primary chain tightened back up.